What landed you into prison initially?
19 years old, back in the day when kids was snatching iPhones. iPhones was real big. Me, 4 people, we was in the car. We snatched about 3. We snatched a MacBook, iPad, and we got in a high-speed chase, wrecked the car on Bankhead. We get out. We all running. I don't know what happened to them. So I'm the only one who got away. One of them in the car told on me, so that's what landed me in prison, because somebody told on me.
Somebody snitched on you?
Yeah, somebody snitched on me.
So what was the actual charge?
Robbery.
Now, how long did you do in prison?
2 years. 2 years, July 17th, 2013 to June 14th, 2015. No, yeah, 2015.
Did you cop a plea or take it to trial, or?
Yeah, I took a plea deal for 2 years. I should have took the plea deal they offered me for 1 year, but my first time getting locked up, I said, I know they're not trying to send me to prison on my first time. It's Georgia, you know, first offender, so I guess it's a fucked up, you know, judicial system, because they definitely gave me 2 years on my first charge.
First charge ever?
First charge ever, gave me 2 years, 2 years to do 10 years with 2 to serve.
So is the rest of the years on probation, or?
Yeah, 8 years on probation. You know, they say it's suspended after 5, something like that.
Now, when you were sentenced for that length of time, what was your initial reaction?
It is what it is. I know I did what I did, so it is what it is. You got to go down. All I said was, I'm going to go down here, I'm going to get tatted up, and I'm going to do me some push-ups and get swole. I was real skinny before I went to prison, real skinny. So I was like, I'm just going to go down here and get tatted up and work out. It is what it is. I did what I did. Can't cry about it now. Too late to cry.
What was your family's reaction?
My mama was crying. My baby mama, she was pregnant with our first child at the time. So she was 9 months pregnant. So, you know, they was all distraught. But I told them, like, ain't no point of crying. It's over with. It is what it is now.
Now, what type of prison were you stationed at? Because I know there's different levels of prison, right?
Yeah. You know, I went to a couple different camps, couple different camps. You know, when you be in prison, be a lot going on. I'm a blood, so you know, it'd be gang violence, it'd be gang stuff going on. First camp I went to was it was fairly sweet. It was fairly sweet. I went to Alberta's correctional facility first. Everybody go to Jackson first in Georgia. If you go to prison in Georgia, if anybody tell they went to prison, they say they didn't go to Jackson, they lying. They went to some type of rehab or something like that. But if you go to prison in Georgia, you have to go to Jackson State Prison first. So, you know, you go there first. Whatever is everything going on. Everything that you hear about in the movies is going on there. Everything you hear about in the movies is going on in Jackson. People getting killed, people getting thrown off balconies and rails, and you know, all that's going on in Jackson. And then I went from there to a sweet place. Like I said, I'm 19, I'm skinny. So I was like, when I was on the bus going to my first camp, I was like, man, I don't know what's going on. I just know I can't go out bad. Can't go back to the city talking about I went out bad. That's all I know. So whatever it is. So I go to first camp, pretty sweet. I get shipped from there to a county camp. County camp is the sweetest type of prison they got in Georgia. You know, you eat good down there. You go on detail. You get to see women sometime when you're out there on detail, whatever, stuff like that. They got phones down there, whatever. So, you know, that was sweet. And I went from there. That's when I ended up having to go somewhere a little bit turned up. Coffee Correctional Facility down there by Brunswick. It's gangland, a lot of gang stuff going on down there. From there, halfway house suite. You're going outside every day you're going outside. Got sent from halfway house back to another prison, back to Coastal, and then to another halfway house. I just was in Coastal for a couple of days. So I had to go to the hole. And went to another halfway house in Savannah. And why to this day, I've never been back to Savannah. You know, shout out to Savannah. I've never been back ever since because it just was a bad experience through prison. But that was my stay. I think 5 camps. Yeah, 5 camps in 2 years.
So why so many camps? Were you getting into fights and stuff like that, or?
I mean, sometimes some games, some on you just like the first one. I hated it down there. The first one I went to, I said was Sweet Alberta's. It was just, I don't know, too childish. I ain't want to be down there. I ain't want to be down there, so I requested a transfer closer to home. That's why I said I need to transfer closer to home. They sent me to the county camp, Hall County camp. Get down there, it's cool. You know, they feed you too good down there, Hall County camp. But I didn't like it. Like, I was on some more serious, like, I'm trying to do my time. These folks in here playing around, man, I ain't with that. I ain't with that at all. So that's how I ended up getting transferred from there. To coffee. You know, I wasn't really, was like, I ain't smelling this. Let's go. And then, you know, I couldn't stay down there, period. I was like, man, this is making my time hard. These folk playing around. I'm ready to do something to them, whatever, and go to coffee. You know, like you said, it was some fighting going on down there, but I got shit from there because it was time to go to a halfway house. You know, everybody want to go to that. When you in prison, that's all, man, I just applied for the halfway house. Make you ready to go to the halfway house. So, you know, everybody want to go to the halfway house when you're in prison. So I applied for that. That's something I wanted to do. And I got in trouble at the halfway house. That's how I got sent to Coastal. I got in trouble at the halfway house. I got sent to Coastal. And from Coastal, they sent me to another halfway house. You just go to Coastal. They just sent me there to go to the hole for a little bit. And that's how I ended up going to Coastal TC, or Coastal State Prison to Coastal TC. And that's how that was.
Now, your initial first night in prison, what was that like? Take us back.
First night in prison was cold as hell. I remember it was in Jackson. I was in J1. Yeah, J1. I was in J1. I was so cold. I got down there. I seen first person I seen, I started hanging with from Bankhead, Lil Shaq. You know, we were just talking like, man, well, he had 3 years. I had 2. He had already been in jail a year, though. So we like, man, whatever we do down here, boy, nobody can't play with you. They can't play with me. That's all I said. I formed a legion. You know, we formed an alliance right then and there. That's all I kept thinking. I said, man, I wonder if this really how the movie is, how the folk really began rape, you know, how it was going on. Do people be fighting every day? If somebody try to take my stuff, I'm going to go ahead, just try not to catch no more time for blanking out. I can't go home. That's what I really kept saying. I can't go home with no face scars. I cannot go home with no face scars. That's all I kept saying to myself. And it was cold. Jackson, and I went to the prison in the summertime, but in the building I was in, they had the AC on. They had the AC on in J building, so man, they had it on so cold that, man, boy, about 40 degrees inside the cell. It was about 40 degrees inside. It was too cold. That's all. That's why I remember that more vivid than anything. And I remember that's when Future first dropped Honest. I heard Honest for the first time in that on my first day at Jackson. I'll never forget it. I said, who did this new song right here? Might get on the phone and say, yeah, Future dropped that song called Honest. I said, oh man, it's a hit. It's a hit. It's a hit.
Now, was it like the movies? I mean, you wondered that the first night. After looking back, spending 2 years, was it like the movies or no?
You know, movies gonna always put a little extra on it, but yeah, like the movie, folk getting killed for. It's really like the world out here, just with no running. You know how people out here, you know, you get into something, you can run from it. Behind the walls, you can't. It ain't no running. It ain't no running from it. Like you can try to, you know, you can rob somebody out here and run to another part of the world, you know, and no face it. You rob somebody in prison, it don't matter what prison you go to, you know, they got phones, they gonna call to another prison. There ain't no running from your problems in prison. And people really getting killed, yeah, that really goes on. People really, other men having sex with other men, that really goes on. But not more so the rape aspect ain't really as true as it is in movies, but everything else, yeah, it's real. It's real.
Now, did you rap inside?
I didn't start rapping until my best friend died. My best friend died December 21st, 2015. I started rapping in May of 2016. I started off, I said I was just gonna be a manager. So I was managing my 2 other little artists. So they was lazy. They was lazy, and I was like, man, I'm paying for the studio time. Y'all don't even want to come rap, man. I can't go for that. I said, I might as well try it out myself. You know, I already know everybody. I knew everybody through the streets, really. I knew a lot of people through the streets, like a lot of other rappers who rap. I know them through the streets, so I was like, I might as well just try it out myself. Started rapping. First, I wasn't that good. I was like, man, I don't know about this, man. Just kept going a little bit. Then, you know, I told Cinco to start trying to help me out, you know. He started taking me to the studio with him to QC. I made my first good song with Cinco at QC. I had my first good song where I started to get confidence in myself, like, oh, maybe I can do this. So that's how that happened.
Now, somebody watching this, listening to your story, and about to go to prison themselves, what are some do's and don'ts inside prison?
Don't get in nobody else's business, first off. Stay in your business. Don't try to be nothing that you're not. Because you think you're going to join the gang for protection. You mess around and join the gang, and when them folks say it's time to ride, it's time to ride. It ain't no, oh, I don't know. You know, I'm getting ready to go home. They ain't trying to hear that, because your own people who gang you in, they going to do something to you if they figure out you ain't do something when it went down. And then the other side going to do something to you because you part of the opposite side. So it's like, you gotta just be yourself. Like, whatever you do, you gotta be yourself, but be a man before anything. Before you anything else, you have to be a man. Let them know, like, I'm a man just like you. You bleed the same way I bleed, so don't play with me. I won't play with you. And respect gonna take you a long way in prison. It's a lot of older guys, so if they see you, you know, you're not in no gang, but you're, you know, a young, respectful gentleman. You know, you're not no girl, so nobody ain't bullying you. You know, you're gonna hold your own. That'll take you a long way. You got some of the older guys, you know, been down for 40 years. They'll be like, you know, if somebody try to mess with you, nah, y'all ain't messing with Lil Shawty. Lil Shawty, no, he don't do nothing to nobody. He just stand-up guy. So ain't nobody messing with him. So like, respect will take you a long way. That's another thing. Respect will take you a long way in prison. Just mind your business. Stay to yourself. Just, you know, do your time. Don't let the time do you. Don't go crazy. And don't, please, I've seen so many men go crazy about these girls, man. Girl gonna do what they gonna do, man. If you felt that way, you shouldn't have did the crime that you did. It got you locked up. And if you ain't do the crime, you got locked up for the first place. Then, hey, man, she wasn't meant for you if she move on, Jiffy. And she know you ain't did that wrong. So you got to do your time, man. Don't let the time do you.
Now, you said you're a blood member. Can one survive without being part of a gang?
Yeah, you can survive without being part of a gang. A lot of people do. A lot of people do. Like I said, you know, you just got to be yourself. You got to be yourself, you know. Everybody, and if you're from Atlanta, you gonna know somebody down there. You gonna know somebody down, and if you don't know somebody, you gonna know somebody from the same hood or know some people who you know. Y'all gonna know mutual people, and that'll, you know, build a bond between y'all, something along them lines or something like that. There's a lot of people who survive playing in gangs. The gang is really overrated, man. It get overrated sometimes. Cause sometimes you have people doing something. I don't know, man. It's crazy. Usually I leave it at that. It's crazy, but you can survive without doing it.
Now, did you have to fight in prison?
Yeah. I fought with my gang a lot of times. I remember one time we got into it. At Phillips. We got into a big gang fight. Messed around, and the sergeant at the prison got hit in the head with a broomstick. Everything. We got into a gang fight there. Me and my co-defendant, we ended up at the same halfway house together somehow in Coastal. We jumped somebody down there one time. I got to fight in my first camp at Alburris. Had to fight with a guy under the stairs. We started our slap box. That's another thing. Don't play in prison. You know, a lot of young kids, they like to play fight, but it really leads to somebody sizing you up. Like, his hands ain't that fast. I can see from the way he slap boxing, people be sizing you up from playing. So you got to make sure you don't do too much playing. But yeah, that's how they go.
Could any of those fights been avoided? Looking back at it, or no?
I'm a ride with mine regardless. I feel the same way out here. I'm sex money murder. If you get into it with somebody who's sex money murder, you got a problem with me. That's just how that go, you know. But we could always try to resolve it as a whole first, like. But once it's gone, it's gone. Once the problem there, it's there. But if it's a way we can resolve, we could always, you know, someone could have been talked out, and we done had that happen sometimes too. You know, one time, you know, possibly we was about to get into it with another gang. But, you know, some of the, you know, older people, they talked that out. You know, we ain't going to do that. We all trying to go home. So, you know, that happens sometimes. That actually happens sometimes. It gets talked out. But someone, especially the one under the stairs, the first fight I ever got into in prison, that could have definitely never been avoided.
Craziest shit you seen locked up?
My first count at Jackson State Prison, a guy, he was in B house. He came out the cell. They was going to take him to the infirmary. He had a knife, he had a shank stuck in his head, coming out his head. They had robbed him for his store and stuck him up in the head, and the knife was still in his head when he was coming out the dorm.
Was he okay?
Yeah, he was all right.
Now, have you ever seen that show Lock Up on MSNBC?
I ain't watched no prison. To be honest, I used to love TV before I went to prison. Ever since I went to prison, I watched TV for 2 years straight, man. I'm tired of TV. I don't even watch TV no more. I got too much. I missed out on too many years. It don't seem like that long, but at 19, what have you really done in life yet? I had just graduated high school 2 years, so yeah. What have you really done in life yet? Man, I ain't worried about no TV right now.
What kept you motivated?
My little girl, my baby mama, you know, she rolled with me. My little girl, my mama it wasn't nothing I couldn't call and get from her. My best friend, Elijah, rest in peace. And just me, like, man, I know what I'm supposed to be. I always knew from a youngin', I never know what aspect it'll come in. I just knew I'd be somebody though. I know I'd be somebody, and I know I'm gonna get some money. Just knowing that I got to make it out and accomplish my goals.
Now, two things. You had a baby when you were locked up?
She was pregnant prior to me going to prison, and the
So
baby
did
was
she-
born. Yes, the baby was born. I went to prison in July. The baby was born in September of the same year.
So how soon were you able to see your newborn?
I was seeing her actually. They have visitations every Saturday. I seen her the first Saturday. I can't exactly recite what day, but I want to say I seen her 3 days after she got out the hospital.
Were you able to touch her or no?
Yeah, you can hold the kids in visitation.
And what was that feeling like when you seen her?
But I can't do this again. I can't be away from her. I can't be away from her. I remember, and I think to this day that's why she like her mama more than she like me sometimes. 'Cause I wasn't there to all them long nights for them 730 days. I wasn't there to sleep with her, wake up with her. So I really regret that myself. I made a mistake. And when I committed the crime though, she wasn't pregnant. So, I really look back like, dang, I really messed up or whatever.
So the first 2 years of your baby's life, you weren't.
Yeah, when I came home,
Weren't
she was 2
physically
years
there
old.
yet.
Yeah, I wasn't physically there. Just seeing visitation. But she used to throw up on my fresh jumpsuit. Prison, every man, they make sure I got an iron, I got visitation, and make sure my slacks right. I got visitation. I got to be fresh, man. Haircut, you get razor haircut. They get a comb and razor haircut. So I try to find me the best barber in my dorm, give them a couple suits, get fresh for visitation. Try to say, man, my girl finna come down here see my baby.
Now, in regards to visitation, okay, well, before I even get to that question, your best friend passed away while you were locked up. How did you,
Nah, he passed away after.
He passed away after?
Yeah, 6 months after I got out.
Okay.
6 months after I got out.
Just clarify. Now, in regards to visitation with family while in prison, they weren't too far from you?
Towards the 2 camps they were. Some on hour and a half, they ain't even tripping. They coming to see me for hour and a half. Now, when I got down to Savannah, Brunswick, that's another thing though. Like, that's far. When they got down there to Savannah, it's over with. My girl made a couple trips. She made 2 trips. My girl came down there 2 times by herself. My mama didn't come see me when I was that far. I ain't even wanted to come there driving that far. But yeah, really, it didn't matter where I was at. I had some real strong, supportive family members who they were gonna come see me where I was. It didn't matter where I was at.
Yeah, I ask because sometimes I hear when it is kind of far, some people I've done interviews with about prison, they didn't even want their family members or anything to come out that far and visit. They just wanted to do their time and get it over with.
Yeah.
I didn't know if that was the same thing for you.
A lot of people be like that. And I kind of, visitation, that's kind of how it helped me. It helped me pace time though. Like, I see my family Saturday. Okay, next Saturday, I gotta look forward to next Saturday, especially when I was at the county camp, detail. They got you slaving out there, no matter a million degrees outside or negative a million degrees outside, you slaving outside. So them times, I look forward through the week till I know I got visitation on Saturday, and it helped me pace my time though.
Now, El Chapo escaped prison twice. Did you ever have thoughts on breaking out?
Man, when you out on that detail, I had one sweet detail officer too, Scott, Mr. Officer Scott, his detail. You could have escaped if you wanted to. That's it, man, it ain't worth it. I know so many people, so many geeked up, the white boys get geeked up on that meth when I was in the halfway house, and they'll run when we was in prison. I'm like, man, y'all got to be stupid as a box of rock. That's all I used to think every time. We in the halfway house, we going outside every day, and they running. They was running. They just not come back. We'll go out there. I was working at a chicken plant called Victory. I remember this one white boy, they called him Airhead. Yeah, they had some trailers. They had some trailers by the job. He met him a girl out there, got geeked on the meth one day. He never came back. So just seeing them do that, I was like, man, I could never. So I know that I ain't had no thoughts like that, because it was like, I said they was stupid. I said everybody, and I ain't have enough time to even think about that. If I was at Chopper on the other hand, I probably would try to escape, but I ain't have enough time. 2 years, I did the crime. I could do 2 years of my life.
Now, those guys that ran off, they get captured?
You never know. Someone turn themselves in. I say, man, what the point of running if you're going to turn yourself in? But, sometimes it wasn't them. It was the drugs talking for them. They geeked up on that meth, that ice, man. They mind in another land.